Ndugu wanachama wa BTS, marafiki wapendwa, wageni waalikwa, mabibi na mabwana, assalamu alaikum. Habari za siku nyingi. Kwa sasa naendelea kwa Kiingereza. First of all, thank you, Rob, for those very kind words, and thank all of you for being here this evening. It's a wonderful event for Kasha and me. Just as we begin to suffer from serious withdrawal symptoms a week after leaving Tanzania, we have a all too brief but very large dose of Tanzania to keep us going until the next time that we can go back and visit, which we hope very much will not be before long. The business of leaving was very sad and also very busy. And in fact, in the process, in the whirl of leaving and farewells and so on, I occasionally sought refuge, believe it or not, in a biography of Catherine of Aragon. And while I was reading the biography, I came across this quote from a letter that she wrote to her father, King Hildebrand of Aragon, almost exactly 500 years ago. And this was what she said: "It cannot be doubted that nothing contributes more towards the prosperity or adverse fortune of kingdoms than the sufficiency or incompetence of ambassadors." Now, I think having been an ambassador or high commissioner for just under 3 years, I have a more realistic view of the role that they can play and the effect which they can have. But it has been a great privilege for me, and I'm glad that I and the High Commission in Dar es Salaam have been able to make some contribution, in particular maybe over the last 2-3 years, to keeping budget support on the rails through quite a difficult time, caused partly by the grand corruption allegations which have emerged over that period. But working closely with the Tanzanian government and with President Kikwete, who I am convinced intends to deal with those allegations and to address them seriously, and with our other budget support partners, we have been able to keep that partnership in good shape. And I think that's good for the UK and also good for Tanzania, because budget support gives the Tanzanian government the means and the incentive actually to build up its own capacity to design and deliver and implement its own programs for its own people in a long-term, strategic and sustainable way. It will, of course, be absolutely essential for the long run if it's going to work. And I remember just under 3 years ago when I was standing here speaking to you and had John Small, who I think is still here, yes, he's still there, standing just in front of me. It's going to be absolutely essential for the long-term effectiveness of budget support and all our development efforts that the business environment in Tanzania is steadily, or indeed even swiftly, improved. And President Kikwete has made very clear that he intends to focus on that. And we will certainly be giving him lots of encouragement and support. But one thing that I learned, and Kasha and I both together learned in Tanzania, was that there are, of course, limits on what governments can achieve, both governments from outside and the government of Tanzania itself. And so much is actually achieved by individuals on the ground at the front line, working with Tanzanians and for Tanzanians. And so many members of the Britain-Tanzania Society are wonderful examples of that. Ron and Liz Fennell's travels around Tanzania put me certainly completely to shame. It is amazing the places which they reach and the ground which they cover over just a matter of weeks when they come out each year, and projects which they are able to support, reaching those parts which governments just can't reach and don't reach. And we really are full of admiration for them and for others like them. Kasha and I learned so much during our time in Tanzania. I'm sure you all know the story of F.E. Smith, the barrister, who gave a very long-winded and quite pompous exposition of a case to a judge, at the end of which the judge said, "Mr. Smith, I'm none the wiser." And Mr. Smith said, "No, my lord, but you are better informed." Even if we are not any wiser, we are certainly much better informed for our time in Tanzania. We have a completely different view of the world, frankly. And we will go to New York with quite different eyes, and we will see African issues and issues to do with development with quite different eyes, thanks to our time in Tanzania. And of course we will have a constant reminder of Tanzania in New York, apart from anything else, because the alphabet means that the United Kingdom and the United Republic always sit together, side by side. And I look forward very much to being with Augustin Mahiga, the Tanzanian permanent representative, and his colleagues in New York. Which brings me on to saying that one of the happiest and most valuable parts of our time in Tanzania has been the partnership which we have been able to have with Mwanaidi Maja since she came here to London just after we arrived in Dar es Salaam. As Ron was saying, she really is an enormous asset to the Tanzania-United Kingdom relationship, and a wonderful person. She and her husband Sharif and their family are really the best friends that anybody could have, and we're immensely grateful to them for all their advice and their help and their friendship, which I know, like our friendship with, I hope, all of you and all our Tanzanian friends, will continue for the rest of our lives. And we're very, very envious of Diane and Peter as they head out to Tanzania. I know that they can depend on the same kind of support and friendship from you that you have given to us. And we wish them all the very, very best. On Saturday evening, Kasha and I were at church in Pimlico, and during the quiet moments I was thinking about our time in Tanzania and everything that had happened and everything that we had learnt. And the final hymn was that very powerful version of the Magnificat, "Tell out my soul the greatness of the Lord." And the final lines of that hymn, I thought, were a great summary of what I think all of us are trying to do in Tanzania and with Tanzania in various different ways, from governments down to individuals. Proud hearts and stubborn wills are put to flight, the hungry fed, the humble lifted high. That seems to me to be a very good mission statement for Diane and Peter, and I wish them every success. Thanks very much. Asanteni.